My name is Paige Stroud, and I am a member at Redeemer Church. My family and I have been going to Redeemer for, I think, 4 years, close to 5 maybe. And I'm excited to give my story for our Redeemer Stories. What is one word that I think of when I think of God's character? And I would say that it is faithfulness. I can just see clearly from the time that I was very little ways that God has been faithful to me and faithful to my family. I grew up in a single-parent home, and I can see the way that God was faithful to provide for us and also to be a father to me and a friend, really. And then as I got older, I got married young and had kids young, and all in that, God was faithful because me and my husband had no idea what we were doing most of the time. We still probably don't. But God has been faithful to honor every promise that He's ever given. And I think that it's really important for Christians to share their story because life can be very hard. And sometimes when life is hard, God is really loud and He speaks. Every time you turn around, you're getting encouraging verses or people are stepping into your life and helping you. And then sometimes you walk through hard things and God is quiet. A few years ago, my husband and I were having a really tough season in marriage, and God was not loud. He was very quiet, and He was faithful and He was sufficient for each day, but He wasn't parting waters and sending fire from heaven. He was giving us daily manna that we needed. And Christians sharing their testimony, you just don't know what other people are going through, but that your story could be the daily manna that somebody needed that day to make it to the next day. And not just Christians, sometimes there are people that are on the fence and they don't know whether they want to take the leap and follow Jesus, and they need to hear that Christians do not live perfect lives, but that we serve a mighty God who helps us daily, and that He brings us into seasons of joy after hard things. I was reading in Isaiah 61 today, and it really summed up what I think what sharing my testimony I think I want it to do. And it says in verse 3, to grant to those who mourn in Zion, to give them a beautiful headdress instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, the garment of praise instead of a faint spirit, that they may be called oaks of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that He may be glorified.